New video from the Navy shows what may be the future of modern close-in warfare. It's their new laser gun.
Once the pointing and tracking system has locked up that aim point on the target, the laser fires and the laser energy is then focused on that point.
What if the weapon of the future isn't a missile or a bomb, but a high-powered laser beam? Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, right? Well, the US Navy has just revealed a revolutionary laser weapon that can shoot down drones and other airborne threats in seconds. This isn't a far-off concept. It's already being tested in real-life operations, and it has some serious implications for global defense. But why is the US suddenly ahead of the game in laser technology, and what could this mean for future warfare? Could this be the start of a new arms race? Stay with us as we dive into the details of this shocking revelation and what it means for the future of combat. The future of modern warfare, a revolution with lasers. What would you say if I told you that the future of warfare might involve lasers? Not the type you see in science fiction movies, but real weapons capable of destroying drones, missiles, and more with a single beam of light. The US Navy has recently stunned the world by revealing their newest weapon, the Helios laser. This isn't just another addition to their arsenal, it's a game changer. The ability to engage targets at the speed of light might seem straight out of a futuristic film, but it's now a reality. Laser weapons are not some abstract idea, but a feasible, practical tool in modern warfare. The world is watching closely as this technology evolves. Helios, a high-energy laser system, is built to defend US naval ships from increasingly sophisticated aerial threats. This weapon can destroy drones in mid-air, cutting them down faster than any missile ever could. And the most striking part? It works at the speed of light. Imagine being able to fire a weapon that costs mere dollars per shot instead of the hundreds of thousands that a missile might cost. The technology itself is revolutionary, with experts predicting that it could significantly reduce the need for traditional munitions. But there's more at stake here than just cost-effectiveness. With tensions in global hotspots rising, how soon could these weapons be integrated into all branches of the military? The first live test of the Helios laser occurred from the USS Preble, a US Navy destroyer that successfully used the weapon to down a drone during exercises in the Pacific. The laser beam is invisible, which adds an element of surprise in combat situations. This test proved that laser weapons are not just theoretical, they are a real, functioning part of the military's future. What makes Helios so promising is its ability to shoot down threats that are far too fast and unpredictable for traditional missiles. Think about the potential in modern warfare. Aircraft, missiles, and drones all flying at breakneck speeds. Now imagine counteracting them with nothing more than a focused beam of energy. Countries like China, Russia, and North Korea have been quick to respond, aware of the strategic advantage this new weapon could provide. While the US has made significant strides, the rest of the world is investing heavily in laser weapons too. Russia's military, in particular, has been vocal about their intentions to develop similar technologies. Are we heading into an arms race that will reshape the very nature of combat as we know it? Could laser weapons be the key to modernizing military forces and gaining a new level of dominance? It seems that the Helios laser has set a powerful precedent, and now the race to catch up has begun. And let's not forget about the financial implications. Traditional weapons, especially missiles and bombs, are incredibly expensive to deploy. The Helios laser, on the other hand, offers a significantly cheaper alternative. How can countries maintain their edge in a world where war is no longer just about sheer firepower, but also about efficiency? Is it possible that laser weapons could bring a new era of military budgeting, where energy becomes the ultimate weapon? This shift could fundamentally change how nations approach defense spending, potentially reducing the costs of warfare while simultaneously increasing its effectiveness. But with such advancements come new challenges. Directed energy weapons like Helios are still in the early stages of development, and their operational capabilities are not yet fully tested. There are numerous technical hurdles to overcome, such as power storage, heat dissipation, and environmental factors that can disrupt their efficiency. Could these obstacles slow down their deployment, or will they be quickly overcome by further innovations? The coming years will reveal whether or not laser weapons will live up to their promises, or if they'll remain a technological marvel that never quite reaches its full potential. As we watch the US Navy's Helios laser weapon grow in capabilities, one question remains. Could this weapon change the course of modern warfare forever, or will it be overshadowed by new, more powerful technologies? Laser weapons at the speed of light, how they work. Now, let's dive deeper into how these laser weapons actually work. At its core, a laser weapon like Helios uses high-powered energy focused into a single beam. This energy is released at the speed of light, meaning that once fired, the target is hit almost instantly. But what makes this system truly remarkable is its precision and efficiency. Traditional missiles need a trajectory, launch sequence, and time to reach the target. In contrast, lasers are almost immediate. The concept sounds simple, but creating a laser powerful enough to neutralize military threats at long distances is far from easy. A laser weapon operates by focusing a large amount of energy into a very narrow beam. This beam, once aimed at a target, can heat it up to the point where it disintegrates. The USS Preble's Helios laser, for instance, can destroy unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, in seconds, vaporizing the drone in mid-air. But this isn't just about speed. It's about energy control. The technology that powers these systems must maintain an incredible amount of stability, precision, and cooling to ensure the weapon's effectiveness. The challenge isn't just about firing a beam, it's about sustaining and focusing that energy over distance without losing its intensity. One of the key benefits of laser weapons is their ability to engage multiple targets at once, which is a huge advantage in crowded battlefields. Whether it's an incoming missile, a drone, or even a low-flying aircraft, laser weapons can potentially intercept and neutralize these threats before they reach their target. Traditional air defense systems rely on intercepting projectiles with missiles, but missiles take time to launch and require careful tracking. Lasers, on the other hand, operate in real time, and their energy can be concentrated on a specific point without the need for a secondary weapon system. But the power of lasers isn't just limited to their speed and accuracy. The cost of firing a missile is astronomical, often reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars per shot. Laser weapons, however, can deliver a virtually unlimited number of shots with a cost of only a few dollars per shot. This makes them not only a revolutionary tool in defense, but also a cost-effective one. When you compare the price of firing a missile to a laser shot, the savings become clear. The potential to save billions in military spending is what has made laser weapons so attractive to defense contractors worldwide. The long-range potential of laser weapons is another significant advantage. While some missile systems have limited range, a high-powered laser can hit a target from over 2 kilometers away with pinpoint precision. And with the ability to track multiple threats, laser weapons could completely change how naval and air defenses operate. But of course, there are some limitations. Environmental factors like weather, smoke, and even dust can affect the laser's effectiveness. So, while the technology is promising, it's far from flawless. Can laser weapons like Helios be the future of military defense? Or will environmental challenges and technical limitations stop them from reaching their full potential? The cost of laser weapons and what it means for the future. When most people think of high-tech weaponry, they assume the costs must be astronomical. However, one of the most surprising aspects of laser weapons, especially those like the Helios system, is their relatively low cost per shot. While missiles can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, a single shot from a high-powered laser might only cost a few dollars. This drastic difference in cost has sparked a debate about the future of military spending. Could laser weapons make defense cheaper and more efficient, or would their development and maintenance costs outweigh the savings? At first glance, the low cost per shot seems too good to be true. But when you break it down, it makes perfect sense. A laser weapon, unlike a missile, doesn't require fuel or complex targeting systems for each shot. The energy it uses comes from electrical power, and the beam itself is generated by a system that, once in place, doesn't need a constant supply of expensive, expendable ammunition. As technology advances, the cost of operating these systems will likely decrease even further. making them an incredibly cost-effective option for modern defense. While the US Navy's tests of Helios have been successful, questions remain about the initial investment required to develop these laser systems. Lockheed Martin, the developer behind the Helios laser, has poured millions into research and development. This makes sense, considering the magnitude of the technology's potential. However, once operational, these lasers could offer defense contractors and military forces an extremely cost-efficient alternative to traditional systems. But it's not just the direct cost of weaponry that makes laser systems appealing. The potential for reduced logistical needs could change the way militaries operate. Think about it. If a ship can fire an infinite number of laser shots without needing to restock missiles, the amount of resources and manpower needed for resupply drops dramatically. This could lead to less reliance on costly transport and stockpiles, making defense forces more agile and responsive. The cost savings offered by lasers could also change how nations approach their defense budgets. For countries with limited resources, laser weapons could allow them to modernize their military without breaking the bank. But for more advanced nations, like the US, this could provide an opportunity to spend more on technology innovation while reducing reliance on traditional weapons systems. Could laser weapons be the key to future-proofing military arsenals and reducing costs for the next generation of warfare? But there's a catch. While laser weapons promise to cut costs in some areas, their development and implementation still require significant investment in infrastructure, research, and energy production. To make them a viable alternative, military forces must overcome the technical challenges of energy storage and power distribution. As these issues are resolved, we could see the true potential of laser weapons unfold in the coming decades. Could laser weapons be the solution to soaring defense costs, or will the price tag on their development and infrastructure prove too high for even the wealthiest nations? Laser weapons as the future of naval defense. Imagine a future where an entire fleet of warships is defended by nothing more than a single, powerful laser weapon, able to obliterate threats before they even get close. That's the vision many defense experts have for laser-based weapons. The US Navy has taken this vision a step further with the Helios laser weapon, which could one day be the primary tool for defending naval vessels against aerial and missile threats. This weapon isn't just about sheer power, it's about precision, speed, and reducing the risk of collateral damage. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Helios laser system is its ability to work in tandem with other defense systems to create a multi-layered shield of protection for naval ships. Traditional naval defense relies heavily on missiles to intercept threats, but lasers offer an entirely new way of thinking. Instead of firing expensive missiles at incoming targets, a single laser beam can disable drones, missiles, and even aircraft in a matter of seconds. This not only saves on the cost of ammunition, but also minimizes the chance of escalation in the heat of battle. However, while the promise of laser weapons in naval defense is enticing, there are still obstacles to overcome. The biggest challenge, aside from the technical limitations of the lasers themselves, is ensuring that these weapons can perform consistently in all weather conditions. Rain, smoke, or fog can obscure the line of sight, potentially rendering lasers ineffective. While the technology has shown impressive results in testing, including successfully destroying drones in flight, the ability to deploy lasers in real-world battle conditions is still being fine-tuned. In the US Navy, the integration of Helios aboard the USS Preble marks a crucial step forward in utilizing directed energy weapons. With this laser weapon now part of the fleet, the US Navy is making a bold statement about the future of warfare at sea. The idea that warships could defend themselves against incoming threats using nothing but energy from a laser could dramatically reduce the need for traditional, slower-moving interceptors like missiles, providing a faster, more cost-effective response. But while the US leads the charge, other nations are also developing their own naval laser systems. China, for example, has invested heavily in directed energy technology for both defensive and offensive applications. Reports suggest that the Chinese military has already tested a series of high-powered lasers mounted on ships to disable enemy missiles. The race to develop and deploy these systems is not just about military superiority, but also about asserting control over critical maritime routes and defense capabilities. The future of naval warfare could very well be defined by laser weapons. With their ability to engage targets quickly and efficiently, they provide naval forces with an unmatched advantage. If the US and other countries continue to perfect this technology, we could see a world where the traditional battleships and destroyers of the past are replaced by fleets equipped with nothing but energy-based weapons. As the US Navy continues to test its laser weapons, could this revolutionary technology change the very nature of naval warfare? Will lasers become the new standard for naval defense, or will unforeseen challenges slow their rise? Directed energy weapons and the threat of escalation. The introduction of directed energy weapons like lasers into modern military arsenals has not only shifted the balance of power, but also raised new concerns about the potential for rapid escalation in conflict. One of the greatest advantages of laser weapons is their speed and precision. But with these advantages come questions about their potential misuse and the consequences of their deployment on the battlefield. If nations around the world begin to adopt these technologies, could they be used as a preemptive strike tool, triggering faster military responses and escalating conflicts before they even start? Laser weapons, unlike traditional munitions, don't require ammunition or fuel. They run on electrical energy, which theoretically means that they can be fired repeatedly without the need for resupply. This makes them an attractive option for militaries looking to reduce logistical burden and increase efficiency. But the question is, will this lead to a more trigger-happy approach to conflict? With such powerful, cost-effective weapons in play, could we see a world where nations are quicker to engage in combat, knowing they have an endless supply of energy-based weapons at their disposal? Furthermore, directed energy weapons could present challenges in terms of international arms control. In the past, there were treaties and agreements that sought to limit the proliferation of certain types of weapons, like nuclear arms and chemical weapons. But directed energy weapons, being relatively new and constantly evolving, pose a unique problem for global arms control. How do we regulate a weapon that can essentially function indefinitely with the right power source? And what if one country develops a superior system that gives them a significant military advantage? The potential for an arms race is high, and the consequences could be dire if nations rush to develop and deploy these systems without proper checks in place. In some ways, directed energy weapons are similar to the development of nuclear arms. Both are technologies that can be used for both defense and destruction. The difference, however, lies in their speed and flexibility. Lasers can engage targets in seconds, whereas nuclear missiles take much longer to deploy and require a far greater degree of escalation before they can be used. Could the presence of these weapons change the rules of engagement in warfare? Would the mere possession of such advanced technology alter how nations approach conflicts? These are questions that need to be answered before laser weapons become a widespread military tool. Additionally, lasers can be used not just in combat, but for various forms of strategic and psychological warfare. The ability to dazzle or blind enemy sensors or surveillance equipment with a laser weapon could be used to manipulate a battlefield's dynamics, creating confusion and disarray. By temporarily blinding an adversary's targeting systems, a military could gain a tactical advantage, making it harder for their opponent to respond effectively. But how long will it be before this technology is used to intimidate or disable civilian systems, potentially raising ethical concerns? The advent of directed energy weapons is both exciting and terrifying. They promise to revolutionize how wars are fought, but they also carry risks of unintended consequences and rapid escalation. As nations race to develop these technologies, it's critical that the international community remains vigilant and ensures that these powerful tools are used responsibly, in line with established laws of war and human rights. As directed energy weapons make their way into military arsenals, could they be the spark that ignites faster, more dangerous conflicts across the globe? Are we prepared for the consequences of this new era of warfare? Laser weapons and traditional warfare. As directed energy weapons like lasers continue to evolve, they are beginning to make a real impact on traditional warfare. For centuries, military conflicts have been fought with physical weapons: guns, tanks, missiles, and bombs. But now, lasers and other directed energy weapons are changing the way armies think about offense and defense. With their ability to hit targets at the speed of light, laser weapons could soon render traditional kinetic weapons obsolete in certain scenarios. Could this shift in technology bring about the end of traditional warfare as we know it? Laser weapons offer several advantages over traditional munitions. First and foremost, they are incredibly precise. With the ability to focus energy on a specific target, they can destroy or disable incoming threats with pinpoint accuracy. This reduces the risk of collateral damage and increases the efficiency of military strikes. Unlike missiles, which require massive amounts of fuel and resources, lasers only need a reliable power source, making them a cost-effective solution for military forces. The deployment of laser weapons could also fundamentally alter how militaries plan their strategies. In traditional warfare, the focus has often been on amassing large amounts of firepower, airstrikes, missile launches, and tank battles. But with directed energy weapons, the focus could shift to precision targeting and energy management. Countries may prioritize the development of power systems and energy storage technologies rather than building larger weapon stockpiles. This could change the face of military strategy, making battles more focused on the management of resources than on sheer size or numbers. But there are challenges to integrating laser weapons into traditional forces. For one, these weapons rely on a consistent, reliable power supply. While the technology is advancing, it still needs to be tested in real-world combat situations. Moreover, laser weapons require a stable platform, whether it's mounted on a ship, aircraft, or land vehicle, and they must maintain a clear line of sight to their target. These physical limitations prevent lasers from being a universal replacement for traditional weaponry, at least for now. As laser weapons become more refined, we could see them incorporated into a layered defense strategy alongside traditional systems. For instance, missiles might still be necessary for long-range attacks, while lasers could handle incoming UAVs, missiles, or even space threats. This hybrid approach to warfare could give militaries an unprecedented level of flexibility and effectiveness, combining the power of energy-based weapons with the reach of conventional arms. Despite the challenges, laser weapons are undoubtedly a glimpse into the future of warfare. As technology continues to improve, we could see more nations adopting these weapons as part of their defense strategies. The shift from traditional kinetic weapons to directed energy systems is likely to continue, and it will be fascinating to see how this technology develops in the coming years. Will the rise of laser weapons mark the end of traditional warfare, or will it be a complement to the tried-and-true methods that have defined military strategy for centuries? The global race for laser weapons. The race to develop and deploy laser weapons is heating up, and it's not just the United States leading the charge. Many countries, including China, Russia, and the United Kingdom, are pouring significant resources into the development of directed energy weapons. With such potential for both defense and offense, these weapons could reshape the balance of power in modern warfare. The speed at which militaries are pursuing laser technology hints at how critical these weapons will be in the near future. But what does this global race really mean for international security? Each nation in the race has its own motivations for developing directed energy weapons. For the US, the push for laser technology is driven by the need to protect its military assets from the increasing number of drone attacks and missile threats. The US Navy, in particular, sees lasers as an ideal solution for neutralizing smaller, more agile threats, especially as the number of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, continues to rise on the global stage. This capability, if fully developed, could make defending against such threats much more feasible, even in the face of large-scale coordinated attacks. On the other hand, countries like China and Russia are not merely looking to defend themselves. They are aiming to advance their military capabilities and achieve dominance in the new era of warfare. Both nations are developing their own high-energy laser weapons with an eye on countering the US military's growing technological superiority. The stakes are high. As directed energy weapons become a core component of military arsenals, nations that can successfully integrate them into their defense systems will gain a significant strategic advantage. For Russia and China, this could mean a shift in the global power structure, allowing them to challenge the US in ways never seen before. With all these nations moving toward laser weapon systems, the geopolitical implications are immense. The introduction of these weapons could lead to new arms control negotiations and treaties, as the ability to destroy targets at the speed of light raises new concerns about the risk of escalation. Traditional weapons treaties may no longer be sufficient to address the rapid advancements in directed energy technology. The US, China, and Russia will likely find themselves at the negotiation table, attempting to define the limits and applications of these powerful systems to avoid triggering a new arms race. Moreover, the advent of laser weapons could introduce new tactics and strategies into combat scenarios. As militaries around the world adjust to the growing importance of directed energy weapons, new doctrines will emerge about how these systems should be used in conjunction with traditional weaponry. The ability to target multiple threats simultaneously with high-speed, low-cost energy weapons could dramatically change the way conflicts unfold, especially in dense combat zones. This shift could lead to more precise, faster engagements, where speed and accuracy matter more than ever before. The development and deployment of directed energy weapons are undeniably transforming the landscape of modern warfare. Nations are not just competing to develop these technologies. They are racing to secure their place in a future where energy-based warfare could dominate. As more countries develop their own laser weapons, the world will be forced to consider what this new era of combat means for the future of international relations, warfare, and global security. With laser weapons reshaping the future of combat, who will come out on top in the race for technological supremacy, and what impact will it have on global security? Beyond defense, into the unknown. While directed energy weapons like laser systems are already making waves in military circles, their future applications go far beyond just defense. Imagine a world where these weapons are not just tools of war, but also instruments of peacekeeping, law enforcement, or even environmental protection. The potential for high-powered lasers to be used in non-military contexts is immense, and as nations continue to develop these technologies, the possibilities seem almost limitless. But could these powerful systems be used for more than just neutralizing enemy threats? In law enforcement, lasers could be employed as non-lethal tools for crowd control. Imagine being able to deter a crowd with a beam of energy that causes no permanent harm, but compels people to retreat due to a temporary, non-damaging sensation of heat. This could offer a much safer alternative to current methods, like tear gas or rubber bullets, which carry the risk of causing serious harm. The ability to disable vehicles, drones, or even missiles without firing a bullet would reduce the human cost of military operations and law enforcement interventions alike. On the environmental front, lasers could be used in space to remove debris from orbit, preventing collisions with satellites and other spacecraft. As the number of satellites in orbit continues to grow, so does the risk of space debris causing catastrophic damage to valuable infrastructure. Directed energy weapons might one day serve as the perfect solution to this problem, offering a way to clear debris without adding to the growing waste in space. Some have even speculated that lasers could be used in environmental monitoring systems, helping scientists track everything from forest fires to pollution in the air or oceans. However, with such power comes responsibility. The development of laser weapons brings with it a host of ethical dilemmas. For one, the sheer scale of devastation these weapons can cause raises concerns about misuse or accidental escalation. What if a nation decides to use these weapons in a preemptive strike, thinking they can neutralize a threat without triggering a larger conflict? The possibility of directed energy weapons being used to target civilians, not just military assets, also raises alarm bells. As with any new technology, the question isn't just about whether it can be developed, it's whether it should be used at all. Moreover, the growing power of laser weapons presents new challenges for international treaties and arms control. How do nations regulate weapons that can neutralize targets at the speed of light, especially when they can be mounted on anything from aircraft to ground vehicles to satellites? If one nation deploys these weapons, will others feel compelled to do the same, leading to a rapid escalation in military technology? The introduction of laser weapons could make the traditional notions of arms control obsolete, requiring a complete rethinking of global defense regulations. As we look to the future, it's clear that laser weapons will not just be confined to military use. They will likely spread across various sectors of society, potentially transforming everything from law enforcement to environmental management. But with that transformation comes a need for careful consideration of how these technologies are used, who has access to them, and what safeguards are in place to prevent their abuse. The path forward is uncharted, and only time will tell how laser weapons will reshape the world beyond the battlefield. Could the same technology designed for warfare one day change the world in ways we can't yet imagine? And if so, at what cost? As we stand on the precipice of a new age in warfare, the question remains: how will the rise of laser weapons affect the balance of power between nations? Will we witness the dawn of a new military era, or will these technologies bring unforeseen consequences? Only time will tell. Stay tuned for more updates as the world of defense technology continues to evolve and redefine the future of global warfare.